the EC is proposing changes to the dates. They are not the first to propose the changes. It's come up before. But now we're looking at the suggestion that November 7th should be the possible date for elections moving forward, as opposed to December 7th, buying us an extra month, ahead of whatever, because you're going to have the election, you're going to have maybe possibly a runoff, and then the transition period and all of that. Of course, we also know that in places like the US, for example, they do this in November as well, right? And so I don't know what you think of it or what the party thinks of it as NDC.
Kweku, from where I sit, speaking for the National Democratic Congress, this November proposal by the Electoral Commission is not on the table for the National Democratic Congress.
Really?
It is not on the table.
Why not?
And let's not confuse this with recent propositions by faith-based organizations for the elections to be held on a certain day. This matter of the date of elections is a constitutional imperative. It is a constitutional imperative enshrined in Article 1124 of the 1992 Constitution. Historically, it has happened, we've been here before. In 2016, the EC proposed, and indeed went to Parliament, and sought to implement similar proposals. It was put to vote, and they lost the vote. Yesterday, I heard one of the deputy commissioners, Bosman Asari, speaking on another network to the effect that this proposition is within the limitations, the constitutional limitations as regards when elections are held, when in the event of a runoff, and then the eventual swearing in of a new president on the 7th of January. But he stopped short of telling us about the preparedness of the Electoral Commission to hold elections in November. Because we have seen an Electoral Commission that has demonstrated manifestly crass incompetence in managing our electoral processes. And the recent district level elections will bear this position out. An election that was supposed to be held in a day ended up being held within a week. There were places where people's names and pictures did not even appear on the ballot. We have seen situations where the Electoral Commission has sought to make propositions, to make changes through administrative fiats. And gone are those days when we, as an opposition party, would sit down and allow the Jean Mensah, Bosman Asari-led Electoral Commission to implement administrative fiats by the stroke of a pen, like what we saw happen at SAL, when on the eve of elections, the Electoral Commission, by the stroke of a pen, denied over 5,000 electorates of the SAL area, Central Kofi, Apafu, Lipo, and Lolobi, from voting in that election. This is a constitutional imperative. I have no doubt that it will not pass Parliament, because...
You think Parliament will reject it again?
Oh, absolutely reject it, because this Electoral Commission has demonstrated time without number that even if you give them 10 years to conduct a free, fair, credible elections, they will falter.
No, but if they are proposing to bring it 1 month ahead, then maybe they're actually ready.
They are not ready. And I have told you...
No, but you don't work with the EC, so you can't say they are not ready.
We have seen by their very work that they are not ready for anything, any day. Even if you give this Electoral Commission 10 years to conduct a free, fair, credible election, devoid of errors, devoid of mistakes, they will not do a good job. They will not. And so this proposition is not on the table. The National Democratic Congress is open to progressive, all-inclusive electoral reforms. And when I say progressive, all-inclusive electoral reforms, it must encompass all aspects of our electoral processes and not the kind of cherry-picking that the Electoral Commission seeks to do when it recently proposed to to stop the usage of indelible ink in our elections. When it recently proposed to end polls at 3 o'clock p.m. And now they are proposing for us to bring the day of elections 1 month ahead of the scheduled date. Meanwhile, they have demonstrated, time without number, that they would always falter when given the opportunity. Look, we know that some of these propositions are calculated and well designed, in cahoots with some people, to create an advantage when elections are ahead. For the life of me, I cannot fathom that the Electoral Commission will be proposing to take out the use of indelible ink. Kweku, when you and I go to the polling station to vote, after we have casted our vote and we leave, by what opportunity or by what means at all are we going to be identified as people who have already voted? By what means?
Yeah.
And the Electoral Commission comes to tell us that this is it, this is our proposition, we are shoving it down your throat and you must swallow it hook, line and sinker. They come to tell us.
No, but why are you not discussing that IPAC?
Look, of course, we are back at IPAC. Thank God on Monday we went back to IPAC. We went back to IPAC after several overtures by various stakeholders like the Peace Council and the Electoral Commissioner herself, who has reached out and has realized that all this while she has been sitting on her ass, she has been arrogant, she has not been working in the interest of the people of Ghana, and she needs the opposition because we have very, very good alternatives to make at IPAC. So we are back at IPAC, and we are going to champion an all-inclusive, credible, consultative electoral reform process, and not this cherry-picking by the Electoral Commissioner. So from where I sit, this proposition to move the date of elections by a month is not on the table for the National Democratic Congress. And going forward, the EC must broaden its engagement. It must come clean. It must call all stakeholders, political parties, faith-based organizations, civil society organizations, the media, and everybody for us to sit down and champion progressive reforms and not this selective cherry-picking.
All right, okay. We're talking about the EC's proposed change of date, and Masaudu Mahama had given us his thoughts on that proposal. Now we're going to ask Alfred Thompson what he thinks and makes of it. Yes.
Dave, I don't see our opponents, the opposition, would always oppose everything that is good. I think maybe that's why they call them opposition. Because we've seen it before. We've been there before. We've all talked about it before at IPAC and outside IPAC, that the November is better than December. We saw when we went for elections in 2008, 3 times.
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah.
We went for the first one.
Yeah.
We went for a runoff, and then we ended up at what do you call it? Time.
Yeah.
So it tells you that anything could happen.
Yeah.
We know you are going to win on a one-off. We are not worried about whether you put, even if you bring it to April, we'll work and win. Even if you bring it to April, I'm telling you, we'll work and win. You're on the ground though. They are in a honeymoon period, and they will stay in the honeymoon period until they go into their graves. We are working. You can see the corner turning around.
Don't be overconfident though.
Even the World Bank and IMF are telling us that they have seen that what we are saying, that the corner is turning around. It's really turning around. Inflation from over 50% to now 20-something% and still going down. Interest rates going down.
Okay.
Businesses are being given funding to make sure that they rise up. Youth are being given money to start skills training and given money to set up themselves. That is no easy feat in any government.
Okay.
Even the social democratic government are not doing that. Coming back to the issue.
Yes.
They ran away from IPAC and they realized that they are ditching themselves. So they've come back. You've accepted them in good faith. But they should come with good and clear intentions. It's not about you dictating the pace. There can be only one EC chair. And at the moment, she is Jean Mensah. You cannot take that away from her. She is working to make sure that elections are clean, they are free, they are fair, and transparent.
Yeah.
I believe that she can do it. I believe that, and his leader has said it before, that we should stop attacking the EC and allow them to do their work. Now what changed? What has changed? We've stated, or they have stated, that listen, let's move it from December to November. The faith-based organization has come out with their proposal. The EC has looked at it and said that, yes, we've all said it before. Yeah. So why can't we do it? We can look at it. Even before they bring it on the table, we are sitting here and telling me that we've thrown it off the table.
Why do you think Parliament keeps rejecting it? Because I know that the 2016 election, there was a proposal at that time, Parliament rejected. The 2020 elections, there was a proposal at that time, Parliament rejected again. What's the struggle? I'm not sure why, you know, to me it makes sense. It seems logical that
everybody
give it, if you bring it forward just a month, it's just literally 30 days earlier, it allows for an easier, you know, in case of multiple runoffs and all of those things. To me, I don't know.
Parliamentarians are also looking at how they can organize themselves and organize funding and everything for these things. So when it comes to their side, I know where they are coming from. That they are also looking at how they have to organize themselves within the short period to make it. But when you are prepared, you are prepared. If you win, you win. I always say it. If you don't win, there should always be one winner. And the winner would always be one person. And we all know who the person is, especially in the presidential that is coming up. But coming back to the EC, we know. Dr. Baumia, the digital man, the innovative man, the man for the youth.
Make reference to the declaration of the holiday, that they want to also add a declaration of that day as a holiday.
The holiday, personally, I would say I have a slight problem with it. Because, you know, some people come to work and they register around their work site and everything. Now, if you create that holiday for them, it will be a problem for them. However, they have this chance. I think right now what EC is doing is that it's doing the continuous registration and the transfer of votes and everything. So they have this chance to transfer. So if they think that it's going to be a holiday and they want to travel to their homes and do it there, then they can transfer and do it. But I remember we had issues, the people of Abosoka had issues with the holiday, the last holiday they did. And it even affected us in the election over there because people had registered around Abosoka. For them to just come and travel, they don't live there. To travel and come and just vote and go back home. They decided then they won't come at all. And that alone, so they should look at it holistically. It's not a bad idea if you ask me. And it's good that they are proposing it now. So people know ahead of time that, listen, I do not need to register here. If it's going to be a holiday, let me register in my home. But when they are doing the registration, would that day to be a holiday? So that is where these things come in. Talking about the indelible ink that my brother mentioned, you see, we advance in life. We don't go back. And that is what we keep on telling Ghanaians, that let us not go back. Sankofa Wuchi.
How is it an advancement?
My brother. Why do we, how do we recognize someone who has voted? Isn't it by checking your biometrics and everything? Now, when you go into the system and your fingerprints, the most important thing, has been taken and you've been blocked, how are you going to vote again?
You can't vote again.
It's not for me and you to know whether David has voted or Mahama has voted.
No, I agree with you.
It's for the EC official to make sure that someone doesn't come to do double voting.
Yes, I agree with you. But here's my challenge. You see, with the indelible ink, and again, I mean, I see Masaudu's, you know, reservation on this one because with the indelible ink, all and sundry,
because he supports you.
All and sundry know that you've already voted, right? So it starts out already as a check for anybody who wants to do something untoward. This thing is a mark on your finger already. That's checking you before you get to your biometrics. Do you see? I do also understand you in terms of let's advance. Okay, let's make progress. Let's move beyond the, you know, the mundane one of just putting an ink on your finger and say that the biometrics. But you know, the biometrics don't all. We've also had experience where biometrics are failing us.
How many percentage?
Oh, I can't say that. You know, I mean, you know, but it does happen.
You see, we are looking at a place or at a time where you sit in the comfort of your home and vote.
Well,
my computer.
When we get to that
we
time,
are sitting at that this thing. So why don't we advance as a country? Why do we always have to say that? I don't need to know whether you voted or
Yeah.
not. Dave, that is not my problem. My problem is to make sure that the EC official sitting there is trustworthy and will not allow someone to come and vote again. We should get to a stage where we don't need him and me to be at the polling station to be
monitoring.
agents.
Yeah. Okay,
We
fair
need
enough.
to start trusting our system and let people work and hold people responsible.
Okay.
It's the problem of punishment. That is what is affecting us. Because when people do the wrong and they are not punished,
then
they
it
continue
allows
doing
them to
it.
continue. Okay.
David.
Yes, just 30 seconds, please.
Yeah. The issue of trust is the very reason why there are several layers of checks in our electoral processes.
Okay.
He mentions the issue of BVDs, biometric verification. BVDs are not foolproof. That is
At
why,
least for now, we've seen
in
challenges.
several elections,
Yes,
we
I
have
mean,
realized that
up to
BVDs
now,
are not
so far.
foolproof, and that is why sometimes the EC even relies on manual verification, which is problematic because people have issues with BVD.
Yeah. Okay.
People go on BVDs and their fingerprints are not recognized.
Yeah.
So how would you know that somebody has voted? Unless this is a conduit to encourage multiple voting.
It is
and
not a
regular
conduit.
elections.
All right, gentlemen.
That is what it is.
Let's